Hi, I'm Kara Mitchell, a character in my grandmother's Gus the Ghostface Dog book series. In this story, my brother Cal, my cousins, and I will discover a secret portal to the past. It's my favorite story. I hope you enjoy.
Chief Straight Arrow. Ethan and his brother Logan, sister Alyssa, and their cousins Cal and Kara were all staying at their grandparents' ranch during their summer vacation. They had been hiking for a long time when they stopped at the ruins of an old pioneer homestead which Grandpa had told Ethan all about last summer. The cabin had burned down many years ago. All the children gathered next to the ruins while Ethan began retelling the story which Grandpa had told him. Back in about 1860, there was a band of Indians from the Comanche tribe that lived in the area. Their leader was a wise warrior called Chief Straight Arrow, who allowed the pioneers to live there in peace. Ethan had learned the Comanche word for arrow is pa'aka, which sounded really cool to everyone. Nimrod Hughes and his brother, Moses Hughes, were among the first pioneers to settle in the area, and Nimrod was their direct ancestor. Nimrod means sharpshooter. One morning, Chief Straight Arrow was on his way to trade with the pioneers when he disappeared without a trace. The Indians declared war on the pioneers because they thought the settlers had killed their chief. Many of the pioneers and Indians were killed. The Texas Rangers finally had to step in and stop the uprising. After Ethan told the story, the children exchanged ideas about what might have happened to the chief. "I wonder what happened to Chief Straight Arrow," Logan said. "Nobody knows," Ethan answered. "He just disappeared and a lot of people were hurt for no reason." "I wish we'd have lived back then. I bet we could have found some clues as to what happened," Logan stated. He remembered how they had all found the stolen bank loot in the haunted mansion and captured the bank robber with the help of their dogs. "If we would have lived back then, we would have found Chief Straight Arrow and prevented the uprising," exclaimed Cal, and they all wished they could have been there. The group chose to have their picnic close to the ruins. Grandma had fixed them a great lunch. They had grilled chicken, rolls, and corn on the cob with water, juice, and lemonade to drink. When they finished eating, they gave the leftovers to Gus and Luke. After such a long hike and eating so much of Grandma's wonderful lunch, Kara, Alyssa, and the boys were very tired. They made beds out of leaves and took a nap with their dogs sleeping beside them. When they woke up, they realized they were in a different time after they noticed the house next to them was in perfect shape. "Wow, what is going on?" Kara exclaimed. "Don't worry," Ethan said. "This has happened to me before. I went to sleep in the ruins and woke up in another time. But when I went back to sleep later, I woke back up in my own time." "If that's the case, let's make the most of our day here," said Cal. Everyone agreed. Ethan was thrilled. "I can't believe this has happened again, and this time Gus and I are not alone." A pioneer lady came out of the house. She was walking to the garden and stopped in surprise. "Hello there. Where did y'all come from?" she asked. She seemed very nice. "Our family is camped along the creek a few miles from here," Ethan answered. We're just still exploring." "Well, y'all are very welcome here, but the Indians in this area are about to go on the warpath. You had better warn your family." "What happened?" Alyssa asked. "Their Chief Straight Arrow is missing. His band of Indians thinks we had something to do with his disappearance, but we didn't. They said he left early this morning, but he never arrived here." "Do you know where he was last seen?" Logan asked. "Not far from here by Lucy Creek. Can I get y'all anything to eat or drink?" "No, thank you, ma'am," Kara replied. "You have been very kind." "Come back any time." Kara, Alyssa, and the boys said goodbye, waved, and started walking toward Lucy Creek. When they got there, they found some of the pioneer kids fishing. One was a little girl that looked a lot like Kara. The pioneer children and time travelers greeted each other, introducing themselves. The girl that looked like Kara was named Elizabeth. "I really like your dogs," Elizabeth said. "We sure have been catching a lot of catfish," one of the pioneer boys announced. "Y'all are welcome to come to our house for a catfish supper tonight." Kara, Alyssa, and their brothers thanked the pioneer children for the invitation and said they would come if they could. "We've got to take these fish home and finish our chores," the pioneer boy said. "I hope to see you again." "I sure hope so," they all chimed in. "Everyone is so nice and friendly here," Kara said after they left. "I wish we could stay here for a long time." The other time travelers agreed. "This might be our chance to prevent a war. We've got to find out what happened to Chief Straight Arrow," Ethan stated. "Maybe we should divide up," Logan suggested. "Kara, Cal, and Luke can go north along the creek. Ethan, Alyssa, Gus, and I can go south." "Okay," Ethan agreed. "If we don't find anything in 1 hour, we'll meet back here. If the others are not at the meeting point, it means they found something, and the rest of us will join them." The kids checked their watches and started their search for Chief Straight Arrow and for any clues to his disappearance. After hiking for a long time, Kara tripped over a tree stump that was sticking up a few inches out of the ground. When she fell, she twisted her ankle. "Ouch, I can't walk right now," Kara said. "Go on ahead and let me rest for a while." "I will wait right here until you come back or until Ethan and the others come this way." "Okay, Kara," Cal said reluctantly. I'll leave Luke here to protect you." He knew Luke would never leave Kara. He always stayed right beside her. Cal made Kara a hideout among some trees and fixed her a bed made out of leaves. When she was comfortable with her ankle propped up, Cal continued with his scouting according to plan. After Cal left, Kara took off her watch and shoes and went to sleep. Luke stood guard beside her. Cal's scouting turned up no clues. He came back to get Kara, but she and Luke were gone. Cal got very worried and started looking for clues as to where Kara might have gone. He found a moccasin track in the dirt, and then he knew the Indians had taken her. Kara's watch and shoes were still there where she had slept. Cal also found where Kara had dropped a package of peanut butter crackers to show which direction they took her. According to the tracks, Luke was still with her, and he wouldn't let anything happen to her. Since there was no sign of a struggle, Cal figured the Indians probably just wanted to take her captive. They would have liked seeing Luke's loyalty to her. "First I have to tell the others what happened," Cal decided. "Then we have to go find Kara." Cal went to the meeting place, but no one was there, so he kept heading south to find Alyssa and her brothers. He would see if they needed help so they could all go rescue Kara. Suddenly, Cal saw Gus running toward him. "Did they send you to get us, boy?" Cal asked. Gus barked and wagged his tail. He turned around, looking back to make sure Cal was following him. Before long, they caught up to Logan, Ethan, and their sister. Here's a picture of Gus. "We found Chief Straight Arrow," Ethan exclaimed. "He fell down into this sinkhole. Gus found him, but we can't get him out. The rope in my backpack is too short, so we need your rope to tie to it, Cal." Cal got his rope out of his backpack while explaining what had happened to Kara and Luke. "When we rescue Chief Straight Arrow, I bet he can make sure Kara and Luke are released," Logan said. "I hope the Chief is okay." The boys tied one end of the rope to a tree and threw the other end down to the Indian chief, but Straight Arrow didn't come up. While the boys were peering down into the hole, with Ethan shining his flashlight into the darkness, they couldn't see or hear anything down there. When they finally looked up, they saw Chief Straight Arrow and Gus standing by them, looking down into the hole with them. Everyone was shocked to see him there. "How did you get out?" Alyssa asked the chief. "Medicine Dog found me. He showed me the way out," said Chief Straight Arrow, pointing at Gus. "Way to go, Gus," the boys cheered. They told Straight Arrow about Kara being taken and about the Indians' impending war on the settlers due to his disappearance. "While I was going to the settler's cabin, my pony saw a rattlesnake coming out of that large hole. It spooked him and he threw me," explained Chief Straight Arrow. "I fell down into the hole. It was dark in there and I could not find a way out. I would have died if you had not brought Medicine Dog to save me. We will not make war with your people. I will get the girl and the dog for you." They all went to the Indian camp. The Indians were amazed to see that Gus, the spirit dog with the ghost face, had saved their chief. Alyssa and Kara ran to hug each other. "Are you okay, Kara?" Alyssa asked. "I am now that y'all are here." The boys started hugging Kara and the dogs joined in. They were all glad everyone was safe. The Indians and settlers became friends again and had a big celebration together at one of the pioneers' cabins. Mr. Hughes played the fiddle while everyone did their own kind of celebration dance. They ate catfish, fried cornbread, corn on the cob, beans, and apple pie. The children dozed off as Chief Straight Arrow chanted the tribal history song and woke up next to the ruins of the pioneer cabin. However, it looked different. There was nothing burned anymore, and it looked like it had just fallen down from age and time. "Did that really happen, or was I dreaming?" asked Kara. After comparing stories, the children found that they remembered the same things. "It must have really happened," said Ethan. "See how the cabin just fell down from old age instead of being burned? We prevented the war between the Indians and the pioneers." "I wish we could find some proof," said Logan. "I've got an idea," Cal exclaimed. "Let's go to the hideout where I left Kara and look around. Remember, Kara? You left your watch and shoes there." "I sure did," Kara answered, "and I'd like to have them back." "Ethan, Logan, and I will take the dogs there," said Cal. "We'll see if we can dig them up." Luke was the first to detect something as the boys and dogs started digging for the watch and shoes which Kara had left behind. They found them, but they were in terrible condition since they had been there for 160 years. "There's your proof, Logan," Cal declared. "It sure is," said Logan, "but I don't think Kara can wear those shoes back to the ranch house." The boys all laughed. They agreed to take turns carrying Kara piggyback. When they got back to where Kara and Alyssa were waiting for them, Cal said, "Kara, you have the only 159-year-old watch made in the year 2019. Everyone started laughing. "What an amazing adventure," Kara proclaimed, and they all agreed. Thank you for listening.